Hi, everyone, and welcome to another section of Vision of a CEO. Like every Friday, that we're gonna be talking about the struggles, the real behind the scenes when it comes to owning a business, especially if you are a small business owner, if you are immigrant, and on top of that, being a woman. I'm here to provide you with all the behind the scenes, all the struggles that everything happens, and every Friday and not just about the struggles. We're going to be talking about the wins. We're going to be talking about how to celebrate. We're going to be talking about all the marketing tactics that you can implement into small, medium, or large corporations for your business in different stages. But most importantly, what is that feeling of CEO or being a CEO or call yourself entrepreneur if you've called yourself that I still don't call myself an entrepreneur either. But again, I just want to say thank you for tuning in every Friday. We might have to change our schedule, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a few more minutes or at the end of the video. But just as of now, today we're going to be talking about how is it to be a CEO or the chief everything officer, most likely. That's what we're going to be talking about. And again, thank you for tuning in for Coffee with Vision of a CEO, Vision of a CEO podcast, where every Friday we're going to be talking about different topics, but most importantly, that you're going to be waiting at the end during sometime during this video that we're going to have a coffee with Jen moment that you always looking forward to, because that's my favorite time of this entire podcast that we're going to be here. But again, why don't we just jump into the subject? Let's talk about what is it, how do you feel to be a CEO? In my case, the title literally says it all. CEO for me is not being a CEO. CEO for me is just chief everything officer kind of thing, because when you start a business, you have to wear every single hat there is. And when I'm saying every single hat, I'm saying every single hat. Because if you don't do it, who else is going to do it for you? At the beginning of every single journey, when you have an amazing idea and you decided to quit your 9 to 5, if you're brave enough, that's when everything goes south. And then you start rethinking about what you've done, all the stuff that you do. And this is the moment when you start crying, when you don't know what's going on, what is happening, why not. And you probably are thinking, did I make the right decision? What am I doing with my life? So, this is exactly what it is. Just to give you an idea, the moment that I realized that I wasn't born to be working for corporations anymore, I wasn't born to be in a 9 to 5 job, I wasn't born to be told what to do when it comes to businesses or not a business, when it comes to a job. Because if there's something that I know is that I'm pretty good at what I do. I'm pretty good in sales. I'm pretty good in presenting. I'm pretty good in planting seeds to create those amazing designs for your advertisement to make sure that your business gets to the next level. I know that I'm pretty good at doing all of that. However, no one really prepared you to be a real CEO of a business. A business doesn't require more than you have an idea. It doesn't require that you have a skill or multiple skills. It requires that you know every single department, that you create your own guide of how to do it in and out. And it requires for you to do every little detail of the job. It doesn't mean that you right away gonna be like, hey, I have a whole team, because that comes with time. And sometimes it never even arrives, depending on what kind of business you do or how successful your business actually thrives. So that is the situation that we're facing at the moment. But this is the problem. When you have to create your own business, you're not thinking about any of that. You're like overwhelmed and really excited about the amazing idea that you finally have to have your own business, that you finally not gonna have a 9 to 5, that you're thinking that you're gonna be so flexible when it comes to timing, that instead of 9 to 5, you can work however you want, just a couple of hours here, go on vacation there, travel here. But let me burst your bubble really quick. If you already have a business and you created your own business and it's a small business, you already know what I'm talking about. But if you're thinking of creating a business, this is the video for you, so you can get ready before you jumping into the whole mess and become a CEO of your own business. And that's what it is, guys. But before we jump into like more details about the journey that I have struggled with and I'm still struggling with, I must likely like to say that if I had the choice to do this all over again, I will definitely would do it because it's worth it and it's what I always wanted to be. This is something that I feel that I was born to do and that I feel found something that I feel that I belong to a space. It may take me more like a longer time to be where I want to be. It may take me putting on like an arm to make sure that go through every single obstacle, but this is what I want to do and I will not change a thing. And all the stuff that I've learned so fast has given me like a bigger expertise in my own resume that I can actually now bring in this kind of videos and project to you all the different things that we're working on. So this is exactly what I want you to get from this video. It may feel that you're not seeing the light in the end of the tunnel, but you will get there eventually. And if you find something that is where you feel that you belong, you're in the right space. As you probably recall, I started having I was working in corporations, right, in the marketing side, and then I moved on to the sales side of advertising. I was doing buying and production, which gave me like a bigger experience and more. Um, I want to say like a different kind of skills when you work in different sides of the industry, working in the production part and media buying part, as well as then move on to the sales part because that way you see different angles of the same industry that in the end of the road, when you are creating a business, you need both. You need to talk about production, you need to talk about the services, you need to speak about what is it, the outcome, projections, KPIs, and obviously before that, you also need to learn every single service in and out to sell it, to plant those seeds in front of clients, and obviously from those sales, once you get the skills of selling, you can bring in revenue, which is what we are looking for, right? We're not just creating a business for the sake of having a business or for having um, a hobby. A business is something that you want to do to get more financial freedom, more freedom in life, and kind of like do your own thing. And why I use the quotes in here is not that I'm being sarcastic, but it's actually what we're all looking for, but nobody actually tells you. We all want more money. And whoever's here that says that they don't want more money, that doesn't mean that you say the truth. Everyone wants more money. Everyone wants more money. And if you want to be successful, you need to learn sales. And whoever does sales, they know that they need more money and they want more money. They're passionate about money because that's how sales drives people. That's how you're going to become successful. But in my case, I will have the opportunity to pivot it to both sides of the advertising industry. And when I had the moment, the click moment that I said, why am I working for someone else when I can do this on my own? That's when my entire world started like to go around it and make sure that I had all the lights right behind me. And guess what? Nobody prepared you to what's next, what is happening after that. Because when you do this, when you start doing this, nobody gives you a whole guide. And that's the whole point. Nobody's giving you anything. So you kind of like have to start everything from zero and Google everything and find research and find information. Because at the beginning, you don't know anything. You're just only thinking about your idea, how to implement that idea, how to convert that into a business. The easiest steps for me was to get the name of my business, was to legalize my business, create the LLC for J Vision Advertising, and I knew that I had to get a website. And at the time, at the beginning of my business, I had like a really small partner that didn't really was a real partner. It was most likely a help, like with a small investment. It wasn't even a huge investment either. So we created a partnership of J Vision. But in the end of the road, my goal was that partnership was supposed to last only a year, which it did, and that after a year was gonna buy him out or give him the money that he invested, and obviously with some profit, and then we can take it from there. So that's why J Vision nowadays, right after a year, exactly how I planned it, is 100% mine. So which is good. At least I did something right. However, when it comes to it, At the beginning, I had an idea. I was the only one with the skills when it comes to marketing. I knew who are the people that I wanted to work with. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. But what a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to having a service, especially in advertising and marketing, if I'm going to be selling marketing and advertising to my own to clients and to possible new clients, you gotta have to showcase exactly what you're selling. Same thing with every single business, but if you kind of like take a look, because everyone's gonna say my business is the most difficult one, everyone's gonna say that, but think about it. I'm telling you how to grow your business, but I have my own advertising and marketing agency. So they're gonna say, well, so why you're not growing? Why you're not a big business? So why you're not being successful if you're bringing me these ideas, but you're not implementing those ideas to your own? So I knew that in my case, it was going to be a little harder. And I still find it a little difficult, even though now I have the skills and the tools that I didn't have before. But now it's a different kind of situation, right? So now we just jump in and create different things of idea, and I have a team. But for me to be where I am right now, it took me years. I had my business since 2019. And when I was creating my business, like I said, the partner that I have, it wasn't a real partner, it was most like investor. And that person didn't know anything about marketing. That person didn't know anything about advertising or how to do sales and how to bring in clients. So that brings you a whole deficit right away because you are in disadvantage of the other big companies in advertising, that there are so many big companies out there that has amazing big clients. But what did I do? I went back to basics. I already had a whole book of business. This is something that I should say too. It's something. Meanwhile, some people they get money to take a business. In my case, what I brought into the business, it was my book of business, because this is something that I've been working for years. And like I said, I have experience in sales. I have been building relationships with amazing big brands like the Rockefeller Group, ESPN, Deportes, the Weather Channel. I mean, you name it. I have a whole list of clients, and you can actually see that those clients are still working with me on J Vision Advertising. After all these years, you can see, go to my website and see the list of clients that I've been working with. But let me tell you guys, even though I had an entire list of businesses that I've been working with in a book of clients that I built on my own, it was not enough. And I'm going to tell you why. Yes, I have big brands, but those big brands, they usually have a marketing strategy. And at the beginning of my journey, I knew that I wanted to do marketing and advertising in the creative aspect of things. I wanted to create commercials, but it's you a lot of people tell you that you have to focus into one niche, like a lot of people video productions. Oh, I do marketing, but I just do video production. Oh, I do marketing, but I just do social media. I didn't want to do that. I knew that as an advertising agency, you need every component of advertisement: social media, branding, consultation of marketing, obviously creative, graphic design, videography, all of that together. You need it all, media buying, to combine and create one campaign that can help any client. But remember, I'm an advertising designer. I'm not no PR. I don't know how to do graphic design. I don't know how to do shooting videos or edit videos. I don't, and that's only the creative side of marketing. What about the rest of the entire business? What about accounting? What about payroll? What about the taxes? What about the laws? Do you need any kind of insurances like liability, workers' comp? I mean, you don't know anything. You didn't, it's so funny that I didn't even had a business plan. And that's the simplest thing that you may probably know, but sometimes you just don't know, or you don't have the time, or you feel that it's not irrelevant. And let me tell you, if I knew what I know now, that's where I would start. I would wait and hold on into a little bit, into jumping into creating my business and launching my business, and create a business plan and follow that business plan along as supposed to, and follow it like through, like step by step. But I didn't have that. I didn't know anything about it. And you may think, yes, how did I learn this? Because throughout the years, I learned that there's like mentorship programs that is from the JP Morgan, which is totally free and you guys can apply for it. They do mentorship programs and one-on-one consultation to help you succeed in your business, especially it's designed for small businesses. At the same time, there's another other programs for small businesses too, that is from the Goldman Sachs program, and they call it 10,000 Small Businesses program. But guess what? All of these programs, and I'm pretty sure there's more out there. I'm just mentioning these two because these are the two that I actually participated after years of being in business, but they all have a list of qualifications. And it's like usually they give you that you have to bring in revenue at least certain amount of money. I believe for the I'm not I don't remember what is it for the JP Morgan one, but you have to be at least 1 year in business with a registered business, not like those businesses that you do on the side and then you're not it's not registered, and you have to provide them with your taxes of the business, and you have to bring in a certain amount of money for revenue. I believe for the Goldman Sachs was 75,000 a year at least, and for JP Morgan it was around that amount too. So you may think it's like, oh, there's help. Yes, there's help. There's also consultants. There's also coaching, not couching, coaching, and that they can actually help you and guide your business through different ways. But let me tell you, oh, I forgot one thing. There's other resources also out there that they can help you when it comes to different strategies, but nobody gives you a real guide, which is social media. If you follow different influencers, they can help you out in different aspects, but it's not all together. It's not a consultant, it's not a coach. Maybe government has like other resources too that you can actually jump in. But again, every single program out there requires for you to have certain amount of time in business, certain amount of money in revenue, and certain amount of like expertise, like employees or 1099s, whatever the case is. In my case, I didn't have any of that. I didn't know that any of these resources existed. I started Googling and doing my research. And yes, I was doing pretty well with some of my clients, but I didn't have a real guide. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have any of the components that you actually need for a business. So I had to learn every single department. I had to learn every single aspect of things. I was doing the payroll. I was sending the invoices. I was sending the emails. I was like the one calling for the sales department, because how are you gonna bring in revenue if you don't know, if you're not doing sales? I was doing the design for like some for my social media pages. I'm in advertising, so I'm supposed to be in every single social media page. And as you know, every single social media page. And if you notice, my mouth right now is like mumbling more words and going faster as faster as I can when I speak. But it's because everything aligns, everything goes together. In advertising, you need to have a presence online. In traditional, you have to have a real presence. The only good thing is that I don't need an actual real office, because I can work from home and everything is done digitally nowadays, the type of work that I do. But I still need some kind of transportation to go to in-person meetings, to participate in two events and networking events, which again, you don't know how many networking events you're going to be participating because you don't have a guide. You learn as you go. So all of this stuff that I've been doing throughout my entire years of business have guided me to where I am here. Now, what is one thing that I wish we could all participate in had at the beginning of every single business is a program that allows you, it's like, hey, I have an idea for a business. How do I start? That they can tell you, step one, this is how you do it. Step two, this is what you need to do next. I wish there's a program, but unfortunately there's none, because again, in the end of the day, everything is business, and in the end of the day, they gotta make sure that your business is legit, and yeah, that you actually serious about your business. That's what it is. But as you notice, all of this throughout the years, I created my business plan, a marketing plan. I created everything and I put everything in whiteboards. I've written down, I have like a written piece of paper. I created my own brand guidelines to make sure that I have everything in place. So every time that I showcase to my clients, you see, I also have it already. And this is how good it has been working for me. But that's only one thing. What about the rest of the stuff, like content for social media? I was doing it all. I was doing it all. And you think how I'm gonna burn out? There's like no ideas, but guess what? You're absolutely right. There's no 9 to 5. You start working at whatever time and you finish at whatever time. Not when you want to, but when the job is done. Because when nobody else is there to do it for you, who else is gonna do it? You're the only one in the entire business. You're the only one putting it all together and making that business afloat. and you're scared of taking a business loan to hire people because like, what if I don't bring in enough revenue? But when it comes to business, that I've learned throughout the years, that you have to take risks. You have to take risk, because if you don't take any risks, that means that you're not gonna gain. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna lose, but maybe you can win double and triple on the next one, and you're not gonna regret it. So my advice to you is like, get there. And this is what we're gonna call the coffee with Jen moment, where we're gonna raise our glass cups of coffee or tea, and we're gonna say good kudos to you for having the idea of creating your own business, and kudos to you for making sure that you are doing it right. Ask for help when you need to. Ask for ideas of how to create that, and don't be afraid to do research and to find influencers to help you guide through it. But let me tell you, just do everything that you can in every single department, because you're not alone. Find other businesses owners that are in the same situation as you and that are looking and moving forward to continue this journey for all of you. So kudos to you, and coffee with Jen moment. Breathe in, breathe out, and sip. Mm. This is the best feeling ever, because we're here, we're looking for the resources. I may not be where I want to be, but I'll be there shortly. And this is it for today. I really hope that this entire story kind of inspire you guys to continue what you're doing, and to know that you're not on your own and not alone. And we all have been there. We're still struggling, and the struggle never ends, because the bigger that you grow, the more problems there is. I had to invest into an entire presence online, even when I didn't have the presence just yet, or the team. But when it comes to advertising, that I knew that in advertising, I need to project what I'm selling. So it's the same thing for you. Project what you're selling and believe in your product, so other people can see your success and how you can jump into it, and making sure that your success is part of that journey and that it works. If you believe in your product or your service and you believe in you, you don't need anything else. Everything else will come along as you continue growing. Happy Friday. Have an amazing weekend. And I will see you guys next week. I think we might have to change the schedule of our lives, just because every single day gets hectic, and a lot of people suggested to do it in the evening, that you guys have more time. So let's just do that. I'm gonna share with you when we're gonna be doing it, but I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing weekend and enjoy your day, guys. Bye. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.